Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I knew you were going to do that.
No, I deliberately interrupted you.
Yeah.
You go.
All right, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Letterboxd Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are discussing Daydream by Hannah Grace, the much-anticipated third book in the Maple Hills series, universe, whatever is defining
Series.
Series. Yeah, we'll be following along Henry and Halle's journey.
Fan?
Much beloved character Henry is.
Yes. Alright, here we go. I will start us off with the blurb. He's the one she's dreaming of. When procrastination lands him in a difficult class with his least favourite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now with his new role as ice hockey captain, which he didn't even want, Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Halle Jacobs, a fellow junior who finds herself befriended by Henry when he accidentally crashes her book club. Halle may not have the romantic pursuits of her favourite fictional leads, but she's an academic superstar, and when she hears about Henry's problems with his class reading material, she offers to help. But being a private tutor isn't exactly ideal given her own studies, job, and the novel she's trying to write. New experiences are the key to beating her writer's block, though, and Henry's promising to be the one to give them to her. They just need to stick to their rule book, and not to fall in love.
Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Kenzie, go.
I fucking love this book. I want to slurp this book up. I want to eat it. I want to have memory loss so I can go back to the start and read it again. It was so fucking good.
You want it absorbed into every fibre of your being.
I loved all of it. I have been in a bit of a slump and I have been actually hating every single book that I read lately. So I'm so glad that I enjoyed this book. I felt seen. I feel emotional. This is my favourite of the Maple Hills series so far. I want more of Henry and Halle. This is the type of book that I'm into. I have zero qualms. None. Zilch. This is top notch. Chef's kiss type of book going on here.
Top shelf. I love it. That was very satisfying, chef's kiss.
Thank you.
Alright, following up with that is my own bitter disappointment.
Yeah, your thoughts, feelings, emotions, you fucking bitch.
Yeah, I DNF'd at like 75%. Just because, it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. I think I just wanted to get to the point, I just wanted to get to the relationship, which is ironic because I could have just it would have been easier to just have skimmed the whole thing, but then book talk these days, they shit on you for skimming. You're not actually reading, so I had that in the back of my mind. But no, I was getting impatient that I just wanted them to just hurry up and be together, and then it's funny because I feel like it is quite a concise book, but I feel like it could have still cut off a few 100 pages, and I would have finished it if that was the case. But yeah, I just wanted to really get to the point. But I did love the substance and character depth of both Halle and Henry. I appreciated their struggles and what makes them human, and it's a completely stark contrast to the characters of Wildfire and Icebreaker, because you get more in depth with Halle and Henry, which is fantastic, and I adored what I read, but I was just, getting to the point. And now that I don't read blurbs because of the Kindle, as soon as you open the new book, there's just a little pop-up, and then once you start reading, that doesn't happen again. So so when I learned that Halle is into this sort of dating experience, a fake dating sort of style, that's where I initially got a little bit annoyed, because I never really like those types of storylines, because how are you not going to fall in love,
Yeah, I feel like this feels like such a different recipe though to other fake dating things, because I feel like other fake dating tropes and books always have a miscommunication kind of trope to it as well, where they both start falling in love with each other, but they both are like, oh, I can't tell the other person because we're not meant to do that, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this one, I feel like they did nothing but communicate. Their communication was so on point, and there was no, I wouldn't even call the third act breakup a real third act breakup. So there was none of that, because I was dreading that, because I feel like that always happens. But no, it was so different from other fake dating books that we've read.
And when that whole dating experience situation arrangement came about, I thought, oh, well then Halle is going to use this to then build up some more confidence and then date other people. Like, she was going to use what she's, I don't know, like, as well as inspiration for her book. Like, she was going to put more practical experience out in the real world, and that's where I just got a little mixed up.
I was really worried when she was writing her book and she goes, oh, yeah, the plot twist is that she ends up marrying someone else.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, is this kind of an on-your-nose foreshadowing thing? But then it didn't happen, so it's all good. Before we delve... Sorry, are you done with your thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Not quite, but yeah, I was enjoying it at that point. Yeah, there's so many elements and character descriptions and just the themes of everything that I absolutely respect Hannah Grace for. It's just, I just felt like I wanted it to end. I wanted them to, like, have that happy ever after and, like, have everything, like, tied up nicely, but it was just a bit too long for me, which is, again, strange because I feel like the way the story is written, like, it's almost very montage-esque over the course of the college years. Don't you put your finger up at me, Kenzie, you bitch. How dare you? The disrespect. Yeah, it's very montage-esque with all the main pivotal events throughout this year of college. And I feel like how more concise can you get? But also, yeah, just the length of the book could have maybe been shorter in that sense. I don't know, but that's it. It sounds like a very weak sort of argument. Again, I feel like I'm on trial having to defend myself. But these days, like, it could be anything. Like, you didn't even start the other book last time, so like...
Exactly. No, I'm unjustified in my anger.
Yeah.
We are allowed to have differing opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, before we, like, launch fully into it, I do want to just read the first part, the letter from Hannah Grace.
Of course.
Because I feel like, and then I want to talk about this, because I feel like we spoke about it before it was released. Yeah.
I think we also gave some criticism to another author about not doing the same thing, and now I feel like an asshole.
That's okay.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so at the start of the book, there is a letter from Hannah. It says, "Dearest reader," which is always like, I was like, "Dearest gentle reader."
Lady Whistledown vibes, yes.
"I know you're eager to get started, but I just want to set the stage before you dive into Henry and Halle's love story. I said this would be a quick note, but as I sit here and work out what I want to say, I can tell it isn't going to be, so buckle up. Since I first published Icebreaker, I've received so many messages asking if Henry will receive a diagnosis to explain the traits that I've always called neurodivergent coded. The short answer is no, he doesn't. Some of you might be thinking, okay, cool, I could have read the book to find that out, but I know many of you feel represented by Henry or might be on a journey of your own, and knowing this ahead of time might be important to you. I've always said I wouldn't write a diagnosis storyline, so this shouldn't be a shock to the ones who have followed me for a while. There are so many reasons why, but aside from the real-life obstacles Henry might face in the healthcare system, the main reason is people live fulfilled lives every day without an explanation for why they feel different. It doesn't make anyone, their wants or their needs less valid to not have a medical diagnosis. Henry and his actions have always been loosely based on my own, and it's taken 30 years to receive my ADHD diagnosis, something I did not have when I started writing Henry. When I was 20, like Henry, frustrated and upset because it felt like my brain just would not work properly and I was suffocating. At no point did anybody think it could be something more than the anxiety and depression I was diagnosed with. I want to come back to that. I've been very honest that this book was difficult for me to write. I wanted to get it right for you all, and more important, I wanted to get it right for Henry. I put a bit of myself in every character I create. Anastasia's anxiety, Nate's self-sacrifice, Aurora's need to be wanted, Halle's loneliness, and the internal scars Russ has because of his father's gambling addiction. I've spent a lot of time worrying about people understanding Henry for the parts of him, parts of me that shut down or need to be alone. The part of me that exhausts herself mirroring those around her and soaking up their characteristics like a sponge. The part of me that tries so hard and still gets things so wrong. Ironically, the pressure I put on myself to not let you all down was possibly the most Henry thing I could do. I believe Henry is the character who has changed the most since I created him, but that's because I've changed so much since I gave you all Nate and Stacy. I hope you read this story and see a man who loves the people around him, and when it comes to conflict, you watch through a lens knowing not everyone thinks the same way. I truly hope Daydream was worth waiting for. Get comfortable, she's a long one.
Yeah, wonderful. Very appropriate for Hannah Grace to include that. Alright, do you want to kick on with the discussion?
Yes.
Alright, what do you have to say?
I know we discussed this before this even came out, because when it was announced that it would be Henry and Halle's story, there was a lot of people, projecting onto Henry and saying, oh my god, like he's so autistic coded, blah, 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 he's so this, he's so that, blah, blah, blah. And we were discussing as well that, and Hannah has addressed it beautifully, in that, yes, he may have these traits and you may see yourself in him, but that doesn't automatically mean that he is neurodivergent. And again, oh my god, I sound like, that video of Miley Cyrus when she's like talking like a robot?
No.
And then man,
It's such a niche thing.
Sorry, someone out there's going to know what I'm talking
Sorry,
about.
I'm getting notifications. Who the fuck is Scott and why is he liking our Instagram posts? I'm just getting notification.
I'm not getting anything. Let me check.
I don't know. I always get potty Insta notifications.
So do I, but...
Shout out to Scott. Stop it. Unless it can't be my personal account.
No, I know who it is. I think I know who it is.
All right. Shout out to Scott. You're a real one. But also, please stop right now. No, don't do it again. I'm going to cut this out. Or I can keep it.
No, leave that in. That's so funny.
Okay. Shout out to Scott, our number one fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's their name.
It's their name.
I'm sure he'll be happy for the shout out.
Yeah. Oh, we're being perceived. I hate it when we're perceived.
I need to wake up with notifications, not me actively live viewing it happening.
I always live view when your dad likes them.
It's every now and then. It's not as consistent as Scott. Or in bursts. It'll just pop up on my dad's feed.
He said he's just catching up to all the ones that he's listened to.
Alright. Circling back. Henry, diagnosis. People searching for a diagnosis and projecting behaviour.
Yes, exactly, and projecting behaviour. Because, people can just have these, different ways of viewing things. People can just life differently than everyone else without being neurodivergent or whatever. But I do want to quickly highlight, yes, when Hannah Grace says that blah, 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 where is it? Oh my God.
Was it
I
depression?
was suffocating. No point in anybody think it could be something more than anxiety and depression, because especially in women, so many times women get late ADHD or autism diagnoses. Anyway,
Yeah, C's.
Yeah, because doctors will palm it off as anxiety or depression, and they will just put you on antidepressant meds and hope for the best. And when they don't work, they will just up your meds.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago now, people that we knew, who are women, who were on their ADHD sort of journey as well, and it was such a tough road for them because they had to jump through so many hoops just to get referrals, and then they need all sorts of other doctors' reports and school reports and shit like that to kind of back up how they were affected even throughout school up until now. Everything is harder for women in terms of the medical diagnosis space because, is it anxiety or depression, or is it just hormonal, or is it your birth control, is it this, that, and the other? There's so many other factors that scapegoated, I guess. Whereas, women can get ADHD and be autistic too. It's not just a male trait. But power to the ladies out there who are finding, their diagnosis, whether it be autism or ADHD or any other sort of neurospicy thing. Yeah, because a lot of people, just grow up thinking, how could they be so different from everybody else? But a diagnosis back in the day could have really helped, and they could have applied all sorts of supports to help them growing up, and which would have been greatly beneficial. But glad a lot of people are taking the steps now. Yeah. And then soon it's going to be just a common path. As soon as symptoms are exhibited throughout children growing up, even for young girls now, there's going to be an easier pathway to get that diagnosis.
Also, let's jump into the book.
Yep. I firstly, I want to say I agree with your projection of the behavior as well, because sometimes people just aren't or don't have ADHD, even though they may just have some symptoms and stuff like that, and just the projecting of the behavior. I completely agree. But also, as I said before, we kind of critiqued Elsie Silver about that in her most recent book, about there being an opportunity to have more of a neurodivergent character. But at the end of the day, I realised that maybe it's just not a topic she's comfortable writing about, or she doesn't know if she could write about it appropriately. And in a way, I feel like that could have applied to Hannah Grace here. But then, at the same time, she did say she herself does have ADHD.
Or ADHD.
Everything has been combined and turned into one whole little identity, and I suppose we got to deal with that. I suppose you don't want to alienate anybody as well. Yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, when it comes to characters, if you see something in a character that you relate to or believe in, that's a personal thing, and there's nothing stopping you from holding on to that. What happened to the time where labels didn't matter? And now everyone wants labels for everything.
Labels didn't matter, and we would put women into insane asylums, Claire. Because you're being hysterical.
Oh, no. Even generally, like, years ago, there was a whole, like, campaign of, like, no one cares about what label you are or what you identify as or this, that, and the other, but now it's just, like, a huge thing. But I think having a label makes you a part of community and identity. So, also, really quickly, one of the main reasons why I DNF'd was because I just realised and remembered I was quite bored towards the end.
I feel like I'm at a rave. Sorry, hang on. What is going on with your phone?
I'm moving it, sorry.
Oh.
I'm like tilting it to think what I'm going to say next, and I'm just moving it. Sorry. Do you want to look at the wall?
Mm-mm.
Look at the roof?
Put me in timeout.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, I was just quite bored because a lot of the scenes are just a lot of mundane things, and it's just like a lot of talking, and like I get that that's the point of this book. I know, I did like it though, but it just got too much, and then I was like, oh, can they just do something? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that was like one of the main pivotal points was I was getting a little bit bored. But I do love Halle and I do love Henry, and I love their characters. Again, I love their depth and substance of their issues and everything, and it's just, yeah, it's so great in comparison to what we've read. But yeah, just got a little bored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, is that okay? Will you forgive me?
Yeah. I just feel like maybe like Wild Eyes was more boring than this, but
well, that's what's quite boring. Like, I do agree. This is alright. If I had to rank from what I've read so far, yeah, I would top this over Icebreaker. It'd be Daydream, Icebreaker, Wildfire.
Same.
Just in terms of like character substance in that.
I feel like this is such a different book though, as well, compared to Icebreaker, because Icebreaker was very much like, I'm going to put my cock in your cunt.
Yeah.
And you're going to take it like a good girl.
Yeah, that's very off-putting, and yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I've seen some criticism online that there was a lack of, I don't know, sexual chemistry between Henry and Halle. And I reckon it's because there wasn't a lot of those chapters where their internal monologue, all they want to do is jump each other and just want to fuck each other. Like, there was none of that, or hardly any of that, until they decided they were, like, attracted to each other. They would say, I don't know, appreciate how pretty or attractive the other one looks. Like, that was great. Like, every other chapter and all the other books that we've read, it's all talking about how much they want to fuck each other. And, like, that's very off-putting. But, of course, in this book, like, that wasn't the case. And that was really refreshing, and it was really good. And it comes off as really genuine. But then people would argue that, like, that's what creates the sexual chemistry, is, like, the innate wants of each other. And in this book, that's where it lacks from the criticisms that I read, so... which I don't agree with.
Yeah, I don't agree with, because I found it so refreshing because they did communicate a lot, and that was what really got me going, was the fact that, yeah, it was all communication, and it wasn't like, you know, because Halle's a virgin and Henry finds that out, and then it wasn't, you know, like him being like, okay, well, I'm going to make your first experience so great, and like it's going to be the best ever, blah, 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 but it's like, okay, no, like we're going to go at your pace, we're going to do what you like, and then, yeah, he's like, I'm going to take care of myself. Like, until, yeah, you're comfortable with, and like, he's like, I'm comfortable with doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's not a big deal at the end of the day. And yeah, one of the reasons why Halle's relationship with Will ended is because he was coming off as like almost impatient, despite how patient he had been.
Well, I was going to talk about Will because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, alright, so what happened to Will?
Okay, so he gets beat up.
Oh, I love that. By who?
Yeah. Well, okay, first of all, Will is Halle's ex-boyfriend because they break up at the start of the book, mostly because he's like, I want sex, really, at the end of the day. And Halle's like, oh, no, I don't really love you like that. Like, because they were best friends, and that, like, relationship just moves into the next thing.
Yeah, I loved that first chapter.
Yeah, and then he's like, we should break up. And she's like, okay.
She was just fine with it. And he got upset at the fact that she was fine. Like,
yeah,
was
she's
so
like,
offended.
I wanted to suck at this. And he goes, I wish you wanted to suck, and maybe that would solve our problems. Piece of shit. Anyway, okay, so at the end, so the Maple Hills plays against Will's team.
Okay.
And Will's family and, like, Halle's family come to watch the game, and Halle is wearing Henry's jersey, and they're like, that's really unsupportive of you. Anyway, and there's a area in the stadium, like, by the locker rooms that's called, like, no man's land, and you're not meant to walk into it because it's where, like, both teams, like, you can run into each other.
Okay, yep.
Anyway, and they go into it, and Will, like, confronts Henry, and Henry's like, I don't want to fight you, like, fool's fight, and I'm not a fool, like Halle tells Henry that or whatever. And then Will's all like, oh, I bet I warmed her up real good for you. Hope you like my leftovers. Essentially, she's a whore, blah, blah. And then Will's talking about, like, that spring vacation that their families are meant to go on. He's like, don't worry, like, I'll return her, like, in one piece to you or whatever. Yeah. And so, like, Will's trying to egg Henry on to fight. But then I think it's one of the other boys that ends up fighting, like, hitting...
Like
Will.
JJ or somebody. Or...
Yeah, I think JJ. And then Coach thinks it was Henry. So Coach is like, I don't think you should be captain.
Poor leadership.
Yeah, poor leadership. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, Henry just said, because Coach is like, tell me what he said, like, what happened. And Henry doesn't want to embarrass Halle by saying what happened. But then he's, like, relieved that he's not captain anymore. And then that's a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my god, you missed it so much. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, anyway.
That's actually a weird character direction from Will, because it seemed like, why would you still want to almost be so bitter about a very amicable relationship split?
Well, I don't think it was amicable. I think Will, like, wanted to fuck her, and so he's bitter that she didn't fuck him, but she would go and fuck Henry.
But, like, it still took time for her to trust him. Like, that she almost went through, I'm going to assume, like, the whole college year. Like, that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I just, don't understand. But, of course, we need a real antagonist, arsehole sort of character to kind of...
And then, Halle's mum is like, I don't even recognize you anymore, blah, 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 like, all this stuff. And then Halle's saying, like, because you only see me as, like, the manager, like, you never call and ask me how I am. Like, you always call and disguise it. Like, you have to... ask me to, like, speak to Gigi or fix this or fix that or blah, blah. And she's like, I'm not that person anymore. Like, and then her mum, like, realizes her mistake.
Yeah, like, that sort of direction was to be expected. Because, she is the eldest daughter, and we hear of the meta characteristics of the eldest daughter is, raising essentially the household and managing the place and everything like that. And, of course, that expectation was held on Halle. Pretty much, parents don't want a parent. Well, that sort of... reconciliation or confrontation and then understanding was always going to happen. I'm just now thrown off by the Will thing. I'm like bro, like, what's the point? Like, who cares?
If you find time in your schedule, finish the last, like, 30%.
Oh, all right, I will.
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah, okay, fine. And I think one of the whole reasons, for Halle and Will's entire relationship anyway, is that familial pressure and expectation that these two are going to end up being together forever anyway. And I really loved the first chapter because Halle was just straight up, I'm not in love with him.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of the relationship, but obviously Will being immature, thinking that it's not really an adult relationship just because they don't have sex. And I feel like that's a really pathetic sort of excuse.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, some people value different things in relationships. And if he values sex as a high part of his relationship experience, then, like, that's his right, but you shouldn't obviously pressure anybody else to live up to your expectation either.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it was just, like, they just weren't communicating, and I think he just expected her to always go along with what he was wanting and what he was saying because they had that familial bond together.
And the family ties and everything.
Very
much like almost pseudo arranged marriage to a degree. But I just love that chapter. It really set up the entirety of Halle's character and what she has to deal with. But I wasn't really expecting Will to be like a complete cunt towards the end. Like, I thought he'd kind of get over it.
No, he turned into a complete cunt.
He could have just minded his business or just fucked anybody else, Like, there are other people I'm sure he could have had sex with but the hot hockey boy got to her first. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. With Henry, I really loved early on how he had intense leadership anxiety as well, being the hockey captain, because obviously Nate left for his professional hockey career in Vancouver. And he was anointed captain because he's just such a, I suppose, more of a young blood as well, and someone who's I'm going to assume a very talented player as well. But poor Henry, he's really feeling it because he doesn't really know how to be a leader. He really looked up to Nate as a leader. And everything's sort of weighing him down. He doesn't really want that sort of responsibility, which is understandable because not everyone
And I think, yeah, he probably got it because, yeah, he's so used to, like, masking around everyone else, and he's, like, he's, like, mirroring everyone else's behavior. So everyone, yeah, probably thinks that he's this great captain because he's been mirroring Nate's captaincy. And it's like, yeah, no, I feel like no one ever actually asked him if he wanted to be. They were just like, it's yours. But then, yeah, he probably felt like he couldn't say no.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes, depending on the circumstance, like, it can be an honor to just be picked up and be like
Yeah.
I really want this person to be captain. But yeah, a lot of the times in sports teams, like, it's a bit more of a democracy, unless the coach really is adamant on a particular player. But yeah, ultimately, you know, you're voted by your peers. But like, yeah, it should be seen as an honor to just be picked straight away, not go through that process. But obviously, yeah, for Henry, it's just a lot of extra stress.
I feel like as well, like, why couldn't they be, like, they could have been a co-captain or something as well, but...
Yeah, someone to help him. Because what year level is he? Is he a sophomore or a junior?
He's junior.
That's his third year?
That's a,
if I'm
third.
thinking
Yeah,
4 years,
because it's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Yeah, because I feel like there should be, like, a senior captain and then, like, a junior co-captain. So then when the senior graduates, the junior goes to captain, and then they pick a junior co-captain.
Yeah, because obviously the senior is only going to be there for a year, and you're not really going to meld with the team properly.
Yeah.
I think we need to not talk about the semantics of it. But yeah, understandable, like, yeah, Henry probably feels like he's a bit too young for this responsibility, or he just feels like he's not good enough to accept it.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, Henry is also, like, failing a particular class that he's not doing well in, and I thought that was just going to have a greater impact on the story, being like, all right, I'm going to bench you because you're fucking failing, get your shit together. But I'm going to assume that doesn't really happen.
Yeah, I also feel like as well, if a player was failing, that they would put in so many extra supports, because they love their sports stars.
Yeah.
They're college sports people.
Athlete biased, for sure. Yeah, I guess we'll never really understand.
But maybe because he was an art major, they're like, ew.
Maybe you're just bludging at this point. Like, yeah, I just felt like, yeah, there could have been a bit more, like, yeah, understanding from, like, the coach and just from the faculty. Like, especially as, like, being captain as well. Like, that's a lot of, pressure for a younger guy who's probably never have been in such a leadership position before, and you know, he's just. And then he ends up struggling with school. Like, yeah, the school itself would implement, supports and all sorts of aids to help him. But I guess it's for the fictition that it's really just like a him struggle.
Yeah.
You just want to watch him suffer.
And he was struggling, to ask for help, so.
Oh yeah, and I was just going to say, like, you're not going to get help if you're not going to ask for it.
But again, that's the point. Like, he struggles to ask for help. Same with Halle. Like, she's drowning, and she's like, well, I'm going to go and help. I did enjoy, because, Halle, was doing so much, and he's like, oh, I don't want to take her kindness for granted or abuse, her kindness. Yeah. That was cute. And everyone's like, because Russ lets him borrow the car, and so he's like, I don't want him to think I'm abusing his kindness.
Yeah, I think him and Coach had a chat, and he was talking about, oh, does Henry have a tutor? And he's like, yes. And then Coach had that assumption of, like, well, what's she getting out of it, you know? Very weird sort of intent wording there. But then, he says to Henry, like, we just don't want you abusing her kindness. And then that becomes, like, that whole thing now, where he's overtly aware of every interaction, trying to make sure he's making sure everything is sort of equal. Yeah, as I was going to say, but surely, like, in a school setting, again, should the faculty just be aware of, like, everything that's going on? And, like, and, like, just, be the ones to approach. But I guess at the end of the day, they're what, 21? They should be in the right mind to ask for help. Yeah.
They're like 20s,
So Henry's failing a class and he has to get his act together. So he meets Halle through Aurora at a bookshop, because he's trying to find books on developing leadership skills. Which is I liked that, because he's very analytical like that, and obviously leadership behavior, I guess as you said, he's only really been masking it, and once your masking muse is gone, like, how else are you meant to react? So he turns to analytical autobiographies of past, like, hockey players to try to gauge some inspiration and everything. And then he meets Halle, and then they eventually have an arrangement where she tutors him, because she's found, like, an effective way to help her sister study as well, her younger sister, so she implemented a similar regiment for Henry.
Yeah,
and that
whereas
worked
she,
out.
reads it and then just highlights all the important parts. Like, she, like, colour codes it for him and, like, labels everything. It's so cute. It's like, I wish someone cared enough about me to do that.
It's very considerate, and she's very academically, like, I say gifted, like, she's an incredibly smart and intelligent person. Like, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And she's had that particular class before, so she, I feel like, knows the subject better as well. And so having that assistance and that insight definitely helped Henry through that particular class much easier. I don't know where else to go from here. You lead.
Okay. That's okay. How dare you? And so, yeah, Halle is kind of struggling a little bit because all of her friends were kind of Will's friends, and so now they've kind of just dumped her because Will dumped her. But also they live in, a different town. So she goes and gets a job at a hotel, and she meets Cammy, and then Cammy introduces her to Ava. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She gets friends, which is so cute. And then, Henry, like, introduces her to his friends and stuff, and then that's a big conversation that they have as well, where he's like, no, like, they're all your friends. Like, they're not going to stop being your friend if anything happens with, like, their experience kind of experiment situation. I forget when they actually first get together.
Like, properly, like, defined relationship, or as in...
No, because they never really, like, define their relationship. Which is another thing I really appreciate as well, because, like, I feel like they both know that they're exclusive, but they never really, like, put a label on it because they don't want to, like, overwhelm the other person. Yeah, like, Halle, is so in tune with him. Like, she gets him loop earbuds because she, like, knows that he gets overwhelmed at parties and, like, in loud spaces and stuff. And then they're always, like, communicating to each other about why they're doing something or what they're doing. And it's just so fun. And then also they have sex on a canvas and they paint each other, and it's so cute because that's so cute.
Yeah.
Did you miss that as well?
Yeah. I had a feeling something like that was going to happen because there was a scene where Henry painted a meadow on Halle's stomach and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah, well, they paint each other and then have sex on canvas, and then he, like, hangs up in his room. It's so cute.
What a first time, and what, like, a first time gift for Halle.
That wasn't their first time. That wasn't their first time. It was just, like, a time that they had sex.
Okay, but of course. All right, sorry, I made an assumption there. But no, that's cute. I like that. Just before we move on, how do you feel about the, I don't know, like, other characters' involvements, like the OG Icebreaker group, like JJ, Robbie?
Oh my god, it was fine, but, like, I literally, for ages, I kept getting Aurora and Anastasia mixed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I just, like, I forget their, like, nuances and their niches. Like, I don't know, and Russ just seemed so, like too understanding to everything that was going on. It's like, your friends are allowed to struggle with what's going on with you as well. Yeah, but it was so sweet. It's like, I wish that I had friends like that. Like, you know, like, I wish I had a big group of friends that...
Yeah, I really liked that, you know, recurring thing with these books so far is, like, there is a callback to, like, Stasi and Nate as well. Like, Nate makes an appearance, which is nice, albeit just a little cameo.
He makes a couple of cameos, actually, Claire, but you wouldn't know.
I knew the main one, right? Anyway. And then, like, yeah, Stasi is also around, and I like hearing, through other characters' interactions, like, what Stasi and Nate are up to. Like, there was a point where Stasi wasn't really feeling, like, the long distance, like, she was struggling with that element because she missed Nate so much. But of course she has all the hockey boys and stuff to look after and look out for and everything, so you know, Nate's maybe gone, but, like, the spirit of him, like, not that he, of course he's not dead, but like the spirit of the livelihood of the house and everything is what keeps us sane to a degree. Yeah, which is great.
Okay, so I'll talk about, like, the ending for you, and then you can fill in some gaps if you like. So yeah, there's this big fight, and then Henry kind of goes AWOL for a while. He goes back to his parents' house, his mum's house, because he has two mums, which is amazing. Anyway, and he just, like, hides out there and deals with everything because, like, he doesn't want to be captain, and then he's also, like, falling behind in class or whatever, and there's so much stuff. And he kind of, like, texts Halle just so you know, like, I miss you, like, I'm going to fix this, like, I still care about you, all this stuff. But anyway, and this is probably, like, the only qualm that I would have. So, like, he comes back eventually to, like, the campus house or whatever, like, the frat house that they have. And it's been, like, a month.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's been
That's a
all
long
of
time.
February. Yeah, like, he misses Valentine's Day and stuff. And then, obviously, yeah, they make up and everything is all happy-go-lucky. You would have missed the epilogue then as well.
That's fine.
No.
I know, I understand what I missed, alright?
Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, a month is a long time to wallow. Is this over, like,
Yeah.
holiday period?
No. Also, which means you missed the secret playlist.
Oh my god, I don't care what I missed. Jesus.
I have to tell you what happens because I forget something. Let me just quickly scan.
You know what, real quickly, mad respect for Hannah Grace, because she could have put out a special edition book and just added these fucking playlists, but no, she has it in the book, which is great. She's not money hungry, and I appreciate that. Henry took a month off just from school, just to
No, he was still
wallow.
going to school and stuff. He just, like,
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
seeing Halle and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright. Good on him for dealing with this shit. And yeah,
Yeah.
like, this book seems a lot more raw and natural and like the human experience, and it's not like a fictional meta couple where they just bone each
Oh,
other.
yeah, so she comes second in the writing competition.
Oh, lovely.
And
Cool.
then, so her brother and her mum pay for her to go to New York and do the 6-week course anyway.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then Henry goes with her.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, and then, like, Stacy and Lola and Maddie and Bobby and Chris graduate. And Robbie officially, like, gets the job of assistant
Head coach.
coach.
Oh, I thought he's already assistant coach.
Oh, well, like, officially gets it.
You mean, okay.
Yeah, and then that's
Good
all.
for Robbie.
Yeah.
He's very much like that analytical
Yeah.
person. Who's
Oh,
able to
and
read.
Halle doesn't go on the family vacation.
Yeah, to be expected.
Yeah,
Like, I
she
went
goes on a girls' trip with her friends instead.
Yeah, I think there was conversations about them planning for a girls' trip at that time as
Yeah.
well, just like as a big fuck you and to avoid her
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. Don't go on that spring break where Will almost threatened to like assault you.
Yeah.
In a way, even though
Yeah.
it wasn't directly to her.
Yeah.
Like, god damn. Also, I felt that just the hiding of Will and Halle's breakup was just, I thought it was going to be like more consequential to her personally, whereas like because you just take the route of just ignoring their phone calls, just be like,
Yeah.
we've broken up, and then just like ignore everybody who's trying to change your mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like no one is truly like that, I suppose, controlling in real life.
Mm.
No, I love that for them. Like, happily ever afters. Everyone gets what they want in life, and that's perfect.
Yeah. It was great.
So, no pregnancies?
No pregnancies.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Alright, so what was Henry and Halle's first time, or at least Halle's first time like?
I can't remember. It was great. It was beautiful.
Okay, because, for her it would have been a huge thing, and I thought that'd
Yeah.
be like a pivotal moment in her character.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was fine.
Okay.
From what I can remember.
From what I can remember, I'm going to assume it was romantic.
Yes,
Because
it was,
Henry seems
of
like
course,
the
yes.
guy to turn on the charm.
Yes.
And then I'm going to assume they bone a lot afterwards, because that's the current romance meta.
Not really. I mean, they do a few times, but like it's not a big thing, which I really appreciated.
No, like, public Uber situations.
No.
Thank God. Only, like, canvas and paint.
Yes.
Nah, lovely. Alright, I just want to talk about this whole experiences thing. Because, when I think of fake dating, or it's under the guise of fake dating, I just thought should gain that experience, obviously, from Henry, but then, use it to work towards a relationship with potentially somebody else.
Yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen.
I was also waiting for that ball to drop. I'm like, all right, so when is she going to meet someone? Like, we know she's obviously going to end up with Henry, but, like, it's just how we get there. So I was thinking, all right, who's going to have that fork in the road situation where she almost has to choose? And another thing about these, like, experience/fake dating tropes is, like, it just makes it easier for the characters to blur the lines between, like, feelings and, oh, I'm only doing this to, I don't know, like, please you, or, like, so you can have that experience. I don't know, I'm sick of the word experience. Surely there's another way to say it.
Well, every time that she had the opportunity to like meet someone else, or someone kind of flirted with her, Henry would come over and be like, "This is like my girl," essentially. And then people were like, whoa, sorry, didn't know that she was yours. As though women are commodities.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair. And I'm just like, I'm sure, like, later on, like, in the part where I was up to, like, Henry was more getting into his feels towards Halle, and he was almost having the intention of dating her, but in the beginning, it's just a garner experience.
I
At
think
that
they
point,
admitted
there
their
is no-
love for each other.
Sorry?
they admitted their love for each other.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, of course. That's always going to happen. But, like, in the beginning stages, like, there was no, like, intention to end up dating, and just the experience, immersion, I guess, is just, blurring the lines, and then, but then they essentially become that couple anyway, despite that definition, and anybody reaching out for somebody different. I don't know, yeah, I was just waiting for that ball to drop, ultimately. I've also seen some criticisms online that this is, like, a different Henry, which it's always the case when it comes to...
Well, Hannah did say, like, Henry is very different than when she first started writing him.
I think I meant just, in Icebreaker and such, like, he's always seen such, like, a ladies' man, but of course when it comes to his book, like, there's no ladies to be had.
He's meant to be, like, he's portrayed, as this player, but then there's actually, like, no playing. I thought that was going to be a bigger part of this, that... he would be, like, a bit of a man whore at the start. Yeah, that wasn't really explored. It was just, like, as soon as there was Halle, it was all attention on Halle.
Yeah, and I thought, like, that could have been a thing where Halle maybe... Because Halle is seen as, like, that loner, nerd, really smart sort of girl, right? Like, we've seen those types of media where the jock falls in love with the quiet girl, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Whereas, if Henry was, like, a player and he was, like, bouncing around between ladies... like, then Halle would have that assumption that his intent is not pure. And that could have been maybe a little conflict on their arrangement or something. I don't know. But again, that type of story we've seen, like, millions of times. And, of course, Henry is very, like, nice and respectful.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically, despite being a bit of a player, like, he can still be very nice and respectful to women.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to have, like, a lot of sex, and, like, that's on you.
Exactly. That's your right. As long as you respectfully do it.
Yeah, for sure. And everyone's happy. Yeah, that's one of the criticisms that I saw, that, he wasn't necessarily a player in this book. But that is always the case in these types of universe sort of books. You always hear it in the other books where they talk about how promiscuous they are. But then when it gets to their own book, they're just hell-bent on their love interest from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Let him be a whore. Let us watch him be a whore, please.
I want to see him kill himself.
No, not to that degree.
Sorry.
You're a little too far, Kenzie. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. That's too far. That's the line.
Yeah. Well, what else has come about with Russ? Because I know there was a situation where his brother was doing drugs as part of his band.
It was just that he already knows and they're sorting it out.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Cute.
Nice. All right, that's it. No, but seemingly I love that overlap where we do get little updates on the other characters and their familial issues and just their life issues as well. But at the same time, it is not overriding, like, Halle and Henry's story.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But also, at the same time, though, sometimes I got bogged down on, like, oh my God, I can't remember who these people are or what they're doing.
Yeah. I know at Halloween, that event, Ryan was talking to Halle. He seemed to, like, flirt with her. Is there any other update on Ryan?
No.
Or you just don't remember? No, you don't care?
No, he... there's too many names. What's his name? Henry.
Ryan...
Henry was like, go away.
That's my girl. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I just thought...
And then Ryan was like, oh, sorry, didn't realise that she was yours. Also, I didn't realise who Ryan was, but then I remembered who Ryan was.
Stasy's ex.
Yeah, I remembered while reading the book.
Yeah. And I just also love that Henry, was also even more patient with Halle and everything. And they started off slow. It's like Henry gives her the whole dating experience, and it's just like, I just thought it would be used for other people, and that was the ball. Yeah.
Oh, and then she ends up changing the end of her story, by the way.
Oh, okay. Because I think when they revealed to each other, like, I think he showed her an art piece because he is an artist, which is a very cute profession, because you don't really expect that from, I guess, athletes these days. Yeah, Halle revealed to him some of her story, and he was hell-bent on the guy, one of the male characters, trying to steal the girl back, you know? And I feel like, Henry really felt like that character, because, and in a way, foreshadowing or maybe expressing similar themes, like he's going to steal, like, Halle's heart and stuff.
Yeah. I'm really glad that, there was no, like, big dramatic breakup, or there was no, twist where she ends up with someone else or something.
Yeah, I always felt like it was going to have that, nice, gentle, peaceful sort of ending, like, I don't know even know what it would have taken for them to have a bit of a spat between each other, to be honest, because they're just so understanding and
they were
aware
so
of each other that
effectively communicative with each other.
yeah, to the point where it was boring.
No,
Jesus.
I didn't find it boring at all. I
kidding.
found it so healthy and just so refreshing. Well, you suck. Anyway, and it was so refreshing.
Yeah, it's healthy, it's endearing, it's just sweet and genuine, and like we deserve that.
Yeah.
I'm sick of all these fuckboy people reforming themselves.
Yes.
When we can have a full, gentle, normal sort of relationship represented in a book.
Yes.
And yeah, I also loved when Henry showed Halle his art as well, because that's
being vulnerable at the museum.
Yeah. See, this is where I thought what could have happened. I feel like they could have played, or it could have been written, that they were maybe more of each other's muses, because obviously Halle's story is about her meeting somebody else, but also having to leave sort of Henry at the end of the day. Like, there's going to be someone else other than Henry.
Oh, yeah.
But then Henry, of course, his art is inspired by Halle, and like maybe they could have seen each other's art pieces and then realized, oh wait, yeah, maybe we truly do love each other, or we are meant to like date and be in a relationship, etc. I thought like that could have been a bigger thing than just, oh, I'm gonna give you dating experience.
Okay, yes, I agree.
They could have been a muse for each other, and then they find that out and they realize that they both have true feelings for each other.
Yes, but then I feel like that would have just like leaned into that miscommunication thing.
Not really. If they're already still kind of like dating, it's just more emphasizing that they do have feelings for each other.
I guess.
So long as no one else is pursuing another person, like I feel like that would have worked.
Yeah.
But that's just me and my idea. I don't know. I thought that was gonna like be a bigger part, because ultimately Halle's story is like Henry's the muse, but she's gonna end up with someone else. But then he changes the story, the narrative for her. She's looking for a big plot twist, and then ironically, even in this book itself,
what
the
if
plot twist doesn't happen.
One of them died? That's the twist.
Hey, I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm happy for a big.
No, I don't like that
twist. There's too many characters, Kenzie. Some have to go.
Someone has to go.
I'm kidding. A whole bunch of them just graduated by the sounds of it, so we won't be hearing a lot of them anymore.
I know. I'm so sad.
Yeah. Okay. So the part that I got up to was a bit after when they hung out for Christmas, where Henry gave Halle like the necklace and like the photograph magazine thing, and then the panda.
Yes.
And then Halle gave Henry the headphones.
Yes, so cute.
And maybe something else. Yeah. Oh, also, I love the throwback to the Jenga, like a Jenga party.
Yes.
Or they were going to play a game of Jenga.
Yeah, because that's where Russ and Aurora met.
Yeah. For a second, I thought, are these timelines like actually running at the same time?
No, but also the timelines are super confusing, because at the end of Wildfire, they have the bookstore, don't they? And she's like pregnant.
People have kids in that epilogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Oh well, Hannah Grace can do whatever she wants.
Yes.
She's a queen. But yeah, ultimately, I respected the depth and the substance of the characters. It makes people feel seen. And that's, when I was looking for my stars as well, that's what a lot of people really drew from, is that they felt seen and heard in this book. Like, this book represents them in many ways. And there's a lot of love and appreciation and support for that, which is great. I have nothing else to say. Unless you have anything else to say.
I have nothing else to say. Shall we go to the Stars That Listen?
We shall.
The Stars That Listen is a segment we do at the end of our podcast, where we both go and find a 5-star review and a 1-star review that we resonate with or want to fight with. We don't look very far, but we always start with the 1 stars because we like to end on a positive note. We also like to get multiple.
Yeah, I only have one of each today.
I have a couple. Would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
So my first 1 star. Straight up, this book is boring. There's no build-up, no tension or chemistry between the characters, and the steamy scenes are bland. The fuckboy and virgin storyline is so tired. Go away. There's entire paragraphs I swear are repeated in this book. Did no one edit this? I don't get how these big books get published like this. The writing is such trash, and I'm truly astonished the MMC chapters got through in this year's 2024 when they're so icky at times.
Oh.
Alright, speak your truth, queen.
Alright, I had Henry was like one of the best side characters in Icebreaker, and this book was so disappointing it annoyed me. And then I have DNF at 43%, about as entertaining as watching water boil.
Well, that's rough. I was just going to say, maybe because, Henry isn't a fuckboy as much as he's made out to be.
Yeah.
And Not my Henry. Hashtag.
Alright, time for your 5 stars, baby.
Alright, 5-star. It is a paragraph. Is 5.5 stars a thing? Because that's what I want to give this. This book was nothing short of amazing. Not only did it have ADHD rep, but the people-pleasing rep and the mental health rep. This was such an amazing, heartfelt, heartwarming book. I felt seen. I felt heard. I felt valid. This is one of my favorite books I've ever read. I'm trying to encapsulate like how people like
That's okay.
how enthusiastic they are, but it's not working. But anyway, my favorite book of the entire series. I fell for both characters. For once, I didn't even picture them, and I didn't care about the lack of sex or lack of spicy scenes. It was so much more than just two human beings navigating the trials and tribulations of mental health and finding yourself. Just whoa. Well done, Hannah. Well done. I don't know what's next, but I'm very excited. Maybe JJ's book? ?
I have several. I have Henry and Halle, You Are Everything to Me. Henry, I want some sympathy, attention, and cure from you, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Hannah Grace only has one flaw, icebreaker. After that, we only got absolute masterpieces. And then,
wow.
what happens when a neurodivergent ADHD eldest daughter who can't say no reads this book? She feels seen.
Too many identity factors there. Kind of just be a girl feels seen. I hate to say it.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, as always. You can find us on Instagram and at letterbox_book_club. From there, our link tree is in the bio, where you'll find us on TikTok, RIP Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I don't know what's out next week, but whatever's out will be out. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe out there.